Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Michelle Mayfield, and I'm serving as a solicitor this evening to the Zoning Hearing Board. At this time, for the record, I'd ask the members to introduce themselves.
Jeff Haberger.
Dave Rogers.
John Rue.
Thank you. This is the time and place designated by notice to consider the application of Mike S. Zook for a variance from section 27-1002.C.4 of the Honeybrook Township zoning ordinance as amended to permit the construction of an attached accessory dwelling unit with a habitable floor area exceeding 50% of the total habitable floor area of the principal dwelling unit. The subject property is located at 300 Poplar Road, tax parcel number 22-3-35.2, owned by Mike S. Zook and Susie K. Zook, located in the agricultural A zoning district of Honeybrook Township. Before we proceed any further, we'll ask if there's anyone present who wishes to be recognized as a party to this proceeding. Party status will give you the right to call witnesses and to appeal the decision of the zoning hearing board. The applicant will be recognized as a party, and the township is always automatically recognized as a party. Is there anyone here who wishes to be a party in the Zook matter? Anyone who seeks to offer evidence regarding this matter will be required to come forward and be sworn before testifying before the board. Public notice of this hearing was duly advertised in the Daily Local, a newspaper of general circulation of Honeybrook Township on June 9, June 16, 2025. Adjoining property owners were notified by mail of this hearing on June 9, 2025. Notice of this hearing was posted on the property by Edgar Nelson, zoning officer for Honeybrook Township on June 16, 2025. At this time, the board offers the following exhibits into evidence. The application of Mike Zook for the property located at 300 Poplar Road, Honeybrook Township, Chester County, Pennsylvania. Board Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Board Exhibit 3, proof of publication of notice in the Daily Local. Board Exhibit 4, affidavit of service by mail. Board Exhibit 5, affidavit of posting of the property. Board Exhibit 6, letter of the Board of Supervisors of Honeybrook Township dated June 16, 2025, in support of the variance request from section 27-1002.C.4 of the zoning ordinance, and Board Exhibit 7, the Honeybrook Township zoning ordinance as amended. Is there any objections to Board Exhibits 1 through 7? Seeing no objections, Board Exhibits 1 through 7 are admitted into evidence. At this time, I'll ask Mr. Zook and or his representative to come forward and present the application to the board.
Thank you.
Yep.
You ready? Swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You don't want anyone to testify, Mr. Zook.
Mr. Zook, should be affirmed as well.
You affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Mr. Zook, is it if you would have a seat while he presents?
Good.
You can sit right up front if you'd like. You could just state your name and affiliation for the record.
Sure. My name is Kevin Whitmeyer with Impact Engineering Group and consultant for the applicant, Mike Zook. We're here tonight as the applicant is seeking a variance of section 27-1002.C.4 to allow a proposed attached accessory dwelling unit to have a habitable floor area greater than 50% the habitable floor area of the principal dwelling unit. As stated in the application, the subject property is owned by Mike S. Zook and Susie K. Zook as evidence of ownership presented by the deed that was submitted with the application. And you have copies of that if you need to see them.
Oh, we don't
You
need
don't need
this.
them.
It was part of the application, correct?
Just up front, the application that's submitted, there's been a slight revision to the square footages that we'll be testifying to here tonight. So those square footages were listed in the application. I do have amended applications to present if that's appropriate.
Yes, please. We'll mark this applicant exhibit 1.
The amendments are in red on the second page.
And just to clarify, it's the same relief, it's just different dimensions.
Yes.
You can proceed, thank you.
Next, I'd like to distribute an existing conditions plan. This plan was submitted with the application, and there are no changes. Just for the board.
Thank you.
So, subject property is a 67.1 acre farm located at 300 Poplar Road within the agricultural district. That the existing conditions plan that was presented is a two-sheet plan set. And the remainder of the land is vacant, it's cultivated farm. Existing improvements are more or less central to the lot. They are at the closest approximately 650 feet from Poplar Road and approximately 330 feet to the nearest adjoining property boundary. Next, I would like to distribute a proposed conditions plan, which does contain a revision date since the plan set that was submitted with the application. So, this is proposed conditions plan with the latest revision date of today, June 30th.
We'll mark this as B2.
Thank you. So the intent of the plan is to construct an attached accessory dwelling unit off the southern side of the existing dwelling. Existing dwelling, as shown, the new dwelling attaches in the southwest corner of the existing structure. Also submitted with the original application was a copy of the building plan. They have also been revised. There's a slight revision for the last revised date of 6/17.
Will you distribute that, we'll mark that as A3. Yeah, so as stated, the intent is for the applicant to construct the accessory dwelling unit to be attached to the existing single-family dwelling on the property. An accessory dwelling unit is a use permitted by right in the agricultural district per zoning section 27-1702.A.11. An attached accessory dwelling unit as proposed is subject to additional regulations per section 27-1002.c,
wherein section 27-1002.c.4 requires that the habitable floor area used for the attached accessory dwelling unit shall not exceed 50% of the total of the habitable floor area of the principal dwelling unit. The attached accessory dwelling unit, as proposed, proposes a habitable floor area of 2,412 square feet, which is 79.4% of the habitable floor area of the principal dwelling at 3,036 square feet, and is therefore subject to tonight's variance request. Mike, can you describe for the board who lives in the existing house currently?
My family, my wife, and three children.
And can you describe for the board who live in the attached accessory dwelling unit?
It was planned when I married, my son, one son got married, him and his family.
And is it correct in saying that the proposed attached accessory dwelling unit has been sized to accommodate the needs of the family that will live there in the future?
That was our plan, yes.
So, the reason the applicant has elected to go the route of an attached accessory dwelling unit is to minimize the disruption of the agricultural operation on the subject property. The zoning ordinance defines accessory dwelling unit in two different ways: attached versus detached or freestanding. Just for reference, should this a detached freestanding accessory dwelling unit is permitted by the zoning ordinance to be up to 100% of the square footage of the principal dwelling. But since this is attached, there's a further restriction of 50%. But as the applicant stated, that square footage is what's needed for the family that's living with there. So, the stipulation was that should this dwelling be detached, it would have to be sited in a manner that it could sit on its own zoning compliant lot. So it would need to be sited quite a distance from the existing improvements on the property, and again would disrupt the farming operation on the track. So, kind of summary, the variance if granted will comply with the lot and bulk area regulations of the zoning district for the agricultural zone. The construction of the proposed improvements will result in total impervious coverage less than the 5% maximum allowed by the ordinance, and all setback requirements are met for the improvements. If granted, the variance will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood or the agricultural zoning district, nor will it substantially impair the appropriate use or development of the adjacent properties, will not be detrimental to public welfare. The proposed improvements are located greater than 600 feet from Poplar Road and 285 feet from the nearest property line. And the variance, if authorized, will represent the minimum variance. It will afford relief and represent the least modification possible of the regulation and use. And at that, I would ask for any questions.
Does the board have any questions?
Yeah, on this one plan, it's talking about like proposed barn and proposed gravel. Are there more changes coming?
That's included in, so in addition to the zoning hearing application, that's being triggered by the square footage of the accessory dwelling. There is a proposed barn and driveway expansion included, for which we have submitted a stormwater management plan that's currently under review by township staff.
But you don't need any other, you're not asking for any other exceptions
No,
related to
the barn size and location is compliant with the zoning ordinance.
Is the driveway expansion just related to the dwelling unit?
Yes, the driveway expansion will lead to the new barn, which will serve, correct, Mike, will that be a carriage barn for residents of the new dwelling unit?
With the accessory dwelling, is it gonna have the same like style as the primary? How it's gonna be constructed and everything?
Close. I think so.
But as, you mean as far as,
Like,
The
number of
exterior.
floors, and is it
Yes.
kind of similar to what the other, the current primary is?
yeah, the principal dwelling is a two-story dwelling, the accessory unit will also be a two-story, three-bedroom dwelling.
Any other questions from the board?
So with you stated that you have 3 daughters now, you live at home with your wife, 3 daughters.
2 daughters and 1 son.
And then who's moving into this home?
Yeah, married son, married boy.
That's different than the son that lives at home with you?
Yes.
Okay, so you have
So I
4
mean,
children?
nobody can essentially look into the future, but is there a future plan possibly when your other children get married, that you would make this into the Dalty house, and then the main house would become the farmhouse again?
Yes.
Okay. Would be all I would have.
And just to reconfirm, this is like the minimum size, considering the, people, not the people you're looking for in that dwelling, is that right?
Yes.
Any other questions from the board? Mr. Zook, you authorized your representative to speak on your behalf tonight.
Oh, excuse me?
You're authorizing him or asking or allowing him? He
Yeah.
just, okay, yes. And just for clarification, the change that I see in the amended application is the calculation of the square foot of the principal dwelling?
That's correct. The square footage associated with the principal dwelling was actually reduced based on how the new dwelling will connect to it, though there was no change in the square footage of the proposed structure.
So because of the reduction in the principal, that increases the percentage.
Yes,
That
and
makes sense.
they increased it from, the initial application stated the percentage was 78.7%. The revised application submitted tonight states 79.4%.
Any other questions from the board in response to my questions? Do you have anything further from the board? So we'll admit, any objections to admission of exhibits 1 through 3? So applicant exhibits 1 through 3 are admitted into the record. Mr. Zook, do you have anything further for the board to consider?
No.
Is there anyone here from the public who did not desire party status but wishes to make any comments this evening? Seeing none, we'll also ask the record to reflect that there was nobody asking for party status. At this time, we will close the record, and I'll ask the board if they would want to deliberate an executive session, or if they're ready to make a motion.
We usually meet to the executive sessions, but, yeah,
We can have a short.
pretty basic.
Oh, I do have, oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off guard. If the board was to grant your application, would you comply with all other applicable ordinances and obtain all required permits?
Yes.
And it's your intent for your family to reside in a accessory dwelling, not to rent it or Airbnb or anything like that?
We don't want an Airbnb.
Okay. And do
Well,
you,
part of the going is I'm getting older, and my children go away Sundays, so I was hoping the married son can move in there and help me with the work on Sundays and a little bit during the week and such. Is what
but it will always be occupied by family members?
that's the plan.
Okay. And do you believe you had a fair hearing this afternoon, or this evening? Thank you, gentlemen. We're ready to go back in order. The board's had an executive session to discuss this matter. Would a board member like to make a motion?
I'll make it.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Is the motion to approve, the request is for 79.4%, is the motion not to exceed 80%, just to a little bit of comfort?
Yes.
Correct. All in favor of the motion?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
And all those, that motion will be subject to the conditions of obtaining all applicable building codes and complying with the testimony this evening.
True.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank
So-
you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You'll receive a written decision within 45 days of today. You have 30 days from the day of the entry of the written decision to take an appeal. We'll make sure to get everybody a copy of the decision. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Have a good day.
Yep.
Mr. Flores, are you ready? We're just going to do do the part that they did before, and then we'll, the introduction, so it's a separate hearing, so.
Whatever you gotta do.
Okay. You want to call me?
I'd like to call to order the second application tonight. It'll be a special exception of, Artemio Flores, 179 Cupola Road, to allow landscaping business as a limited impact occupation. And I believe it's around start hours, right?
It's a start, it's what the application is for.
Yeah, I didn't have that, just like the. (22.8, 22.1), I believe, in the minutes, that's what they're saying.
Up here. Is, do you know, is that what you need the relief from, is the hours of operation?
Yes, just like 7 to 6 PM, so
Okay.
that way I don't get traffic.
Okay, we're gonna let you, but that's what you need the,
Yes.
trying to see.
It says a special exception is required on all limited, impact.
And the variance for the hours of operation. Okay, yes.
It said the only aspect requiring a variance is the hours of operations.
So at this time, if the board would like to introduce themselves,
Jeff Hamburger.
Dave Roderick.
John Rue.
and I'm Michelle Mako, serving as a solicitor this evening. This is the place and time designated by notice to consider the application, and my apologies if I mispronounce it. Artemio Flores for a special exception under section 27-1702 point B.2 of the Honeybrook Township zoning ordinance as amended to conduct a limited impact home occupation to operate a landscaping business from the property, and also for a variance from section 27-1033 point E point 7 closed paren of the zoning ordinance to allow for employees arriving and leaving from the property prior to the permitted 7 a.m. start time. The subject property is located at 179 Cupola Road, tax parcel number 22-8-22.1, owned by Artemio Flores and located in the agricultural zoning district of the township. Is there anyone present who wishes to be recognized as a party to this proceeding? Party status will give you the right to call witnesses and to appeal the decision of the zoning hearing board. The applicant is recognized as a party, and the township is always automatically recognized as a party. Is there anyone here seeking party status on this application? Seeing none, anyone who wishes to offer evidence regarding this matter will be required to come forward and be sworn before testifying before the board. Public notice of this hearing was duly advertised in the Daily Local, a newspaper of general circulation, on June 12th and June 19th, 2025. Adjoining property owners were notified by mail of this hearing on June 10th, 2025. Notice of this hearing was posted on the property by Edgar Nelson, zoning officer for Honeybrook Township, on June 13th, 2025. At this time, the board offers the following exhibits into evidence. Board Exhibit 1, the application of Artemio Flores for the property located at 179 Cupola Road, Honeybrook Township, Chester County, Pennsylvania, for a variance and special exception. The application for a limited home occupation to conduct a landscaping business from the said property. Board Exhibit 3, notice of hearing. Board Exhibit 4, proof of publication of notice in the Daily Local. Board Exhibit 5, affidavit of service by mail. Board Exhibit 6, affidavit of posting of the property. Board Exhibit 7, letter of the Board of Supervisors of Honeybrook Township dated June 16, 2025, supporting the special exception and the variance from the zoning ordinance. And Board Exhibit 8, the Honeybrook Township zoning ordinance as amended. Any objection to admission of Board Exhibits 1 through 8? Seeing none, Board Exhibits 1 through 8 are admitted into evidence. So this time I'm going to ask you to present testimony in case. I'm going to start with Mr. Flores so that he can recognize you and have you state your name as speaking on his behalf.
Yeah, she's Christine, and she's gonna be speaking on my behalf.
And can you, before, I'm going to ask you to restate that because I'm going to ask you to be sworn. Can
Okay?
you raise your right hand?
Yes.
So the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, please.
And can you identify your representative again?
Yeah, Christine, confirm. She's gonna be representing.
The last name, Christine.
Corcoran, C-O-R-C-O-R-A.
Christine, if you'd like to come forward and be sworn.
Raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
This is the opportunity to explain to the board why it should be granted the special exception and the variance.
Okay. Artemio wants to, obviously operates a landscaping business, but he doesn't operate on the property, he operates at houses and homes and businesses throughout the area. He just wants to allow his guys to come, get their work trucks, and then leave, go to work, and then bring them home and eat them. That's really it. He wants to start early at 6 o'clock. During the summertime, to be heat. We all know it's early this week. So get out early, come home early, so they can get full days in. And that's what we're looking for.
How many trucks will be parked at the property?
It's 3 trucks, right?
Yes.
3 trucks with trailers. We did turn in the registration for them all, and they do fall within their requirements. And they're newer vehicles, so they're not loud and they're not to be disruptive to people, maybe or whatever, so.
Are there lawnmowers?
They're not gonna be starting anything on site, it's all, they're just gonna grab the trailers and go. That's all they're gonna be doing. No work's gonna happen on the property at all.
Where are the lawnmowers being stored?
I have them inside the 24 enclosed trailer.
In those trailers.
So the trailers that will be attached to the trucks are enclosed, and that's a yes, sorry.
Yes, sorry.
This illness taking down what you said.
I didn't get it right in my head.
Does the board have any questions?
Would like, gas be stored in those trailers also?
That's a great question. Are you guys getting diesel when you're out, or are they storing it in the trailers?
We give diesel when we go out. We
So
give
you don't
them.
store it within the trailers?
We give them out.
I didn't understand that, I'm sorry.
So he does not store it in the trailers, they get it from Walmart.
And you wouldn't also, service any of the tractors on site if like something needed maintenance, you would,
His brother does the maintenance, and it's not at his house.
okay, so it's not on
No,
site.
it's not on site. He services all the tractors, the trailers, everything at his location.
Okay. You said 3, trucks and trailers, that imply 3 employees, or is there more than 1 employee per?
Two.
When I have 2, but I have my brother working for me right now, so basically, it's basically like a family business. What I have, my brother is helping me, you
But
know.
there's 4 of you guys stick all
Yeah,
together.
we mix 4 of us together.
So 3 work trucks, and then he drives his.
And if you were to grant this at 6, you would be, I guess, back at the place, for, when? No,
So that's gonna vary, I mean, we can't say for sure, but on a very hot day, if they have 5 jobs to do, they wanna get out earlier to beat the sun the best they can. I couldn't tell you what time they get done, but it wouldn't be in the middle of the night, it would be just earlier in the day.
So, do you want a seasonal variance, or do you want a year-round variance?
So here's the part to that, he does snow removal, so to be fair, I think it's fair to say that we can't predict the snow. If it
Correct.
snows in the middle of the night, he's not doing anything but starting a truck and leaving, right? Does he
Yeah.
really need a variance for that? I don't know. He's not doing anything, he's not starting machines or anything, he's just getting in his truck and leaving. So I think that'd be a judgment call for you, if you think it's best to have it to cover him,
Year-round variance would probably be
maybe.
more applicable. That's what the question was, if he does snow removal.
He does do
Yeah,
snow
he
removal,
will.
but like, it's just a truck, right?
Some
So,
days there's blizzard in Pennsylvania, and other years it doesn't snow. hang on. That's basically the only question I would have.
You don't have any plans immediately to expand beyond 3 trucks and trailers?
If the business keeps growing, yes, eventually. Sometimes I keep the trucks, like a big truck for snow removal, and I use it to the snow season. I buy a truck that is like not really old, but something that's gonna give me to the snow removal. And when everything stands up, sometimes I end up selling that truck and to save the money, and I just buy another truck and I just kind of flip them around. So it's basically it's gonna be like I have the same truck, but maybe one's gonna change every once in a while. Yeah.
So I don't think he's gonna expand.
That was more a question if you would go to
Yeah,
6
you're
or
gonna expand the
something.
number of people.
Oh, I'm not gonna spend the number of people. No. I want to save more. Yeah. I like to
I don't believe him.
More people, more headache.
No, it's not that I get.
I know.
Well, I have some right now.
Too much.
The only question I would have is, do you store mulch on site?
Mulch. I do store, it's not really store mulch. I have, right now I have like about 2.5 yards of brown mulch and black mulch.
Okay.
That I have left over from job.
But it's not that you get truckloads in
No.
and then you would be loading your trucks in more?
No.
They'll go to the vendor to get all their
Go
materials.
to Weavers.
Yeah.
Yeah, look.
I'm fell around when I came around. Weavers.
I mean,
Weavers sounds good.
yes.
So for the landscaping, summer landscaping, what would be the earliest your trucks would be leaving?
6.
6.
Would
And
you,
that's only on the hot days.
would you be agreeable that if this board would grant your relief, that the only for snow removal could they leave before 6 a.m.?
Well, snow removal is just a truck. It'd be him getting in a truck at 6, before 6, right? For snow, that would be just him.
Right, but he's asking for a home occupation and the trucks,
Right.
but the hours are set based on the home occupation. So
Right,
that's,
well-
so that's why I'm asking, he would be running a home occupation for snow removal.
With just him.
With just him, correct.
Right, so I think it'd be more beneficial for him in the summer with his guys that are doing the landscaping is what I'm getting at.
Okay, but what I'm asking is, would you be agreeable to a condition that the trucks in the summer would not leave before 6 a.m.?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay, but for snow removal,
we can.
for you, because you're gonna be the only one doing snow removal, correct?
Yeah.
That truck could leave before 6 a.m.
Yes.
Okay.
You would be agreeable to that?
Yes.
And you would be agreeable to no storage or sale of products or anything?
Yes. I'm sorry, consider that.
And you would obtain all other building permits, ordinances, comply with all other applications and
In the
ordinances?
future, if I need to do something else and I have to go different route, I will submit another application and keep moving forward.
Well,
I will comply with everything.
it talks about possibly needing stormwater, so you're agreeable to getting
Yes.
stormwater approval if needed?
If there's some water needed in the future, I will put some water.
I think it was like a not major stormwater, though, correct?
Correct,
Yeah.
it was a simplified,
Yes, simplified, yeah, exactly. We're fine with that. I think we agreed to that last time too. Yeah. It is needed.
Do you believe you've had a fair hearing this evening?
Yes?
Does the board have any further questions? Do you have anything further for the board to consider? Anyone here who did not ask party status wish to make a comment? Would the board like to deliberate?
How many, like,
night tomorrow.
Go back on the record after an short executive session. Following the executive session, would the board like to consider a motion granting the special exception and the variance subject to the following conditions? Operations in accordance with the testimony presented this evening and the applications, obtaining all other appropriate permits and approvals. The 3 landscaping trucks and trailers plus the 1 personal vehicle can leave no earlier than 6 a.m., granting the variance before 7 p.m. The 1 snowplow vehicle during snow time could leave before 6 a.m. if needed. No on-site work on the equipment and no bulk storage or delivery.
I will make a motion to approve.
I
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And are you agreeable to all those conditions?
Yes.
You'll receive a written decision within 45 days of today. You'll have 30 days from the date of the entry of the written decision to take an appeal if needed. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's no further business, so if you would like to continue. Just a reminder, you do have 2 hearings coming up July 14th. Yes.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
Aye.
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 It's closed.
Thank you, everyone. We're in a very efficient hearing, and we'll maybe make it out of this work.
Hopefully. I kept hearing the thunder roll.
And there was one wicked street light over that way earlier.
It's good seeing everyone again. I will remember the next time.
Dave, you on your phone?
Yeah, grab that for me, John, please.
Yes, we'll,
Because that's within 45 days.
yes,